got a huge show coming your way. We're going to talk Premier and Premier B relegation. We're going to talk Premier C finals. Stick around for our Divisions finals preview. And we're also going to try and give you our certainties of the week and much, much more. But before we get on to all of that, it's a very big welcome back to the desk to Brenton Mann.
Lenny, thank you. Well, thank you guys. Thank you.
Where have you been?
Well, Andrew, if I make a Rocky IV reference, I felt like life was Ivan Drago a couple of weeks ago, and I was Apollo Creed. I was just getting absolutely pummeled. I couldn't get off the canvas, but I've risen.
I've no idea what he's talking about. Nick Armistead, welcome back to the desk.
Thank you, Andrew. Great to be here. Great to have the three lads back on the desk.
It is good to be back.
No special guest tonight, unfortunately, but that gives us plenty of time to talk footy. Let's kick things off. Well, Brenton, you've been away. You came under some criticism, I guess.
Yeah, I came with a bit of criticism. Ladies and gentlemen, Lenny Watch is back.
Oh,
because the great man to my
right.
The great man to my right, one of the greats of the AFL retired on Friday night. You know, a lot of fanfare, great night, great feeling. Bob Murphy, yes, and also the great Hawthorn, 4-time premiership.
Josh Gibson, 3 premierships.
Yeah. Luke Hodge.
Oh yeah, no, Hodge. Yep, he did.
Right.
So, as a media professional, who do you reckon Andrew just stood next to post game?
Oh, he did not.
He did. Lenny just got his little bonce on the box again. While Hodgie was getting interviewed by the media throng, Lenny just put his little recorder in there.
Had to stick a mic in there.
Yes. Even eyeballed the camera.
Oh,
but he didn't run scared this time. Unlike this other time when Lenny was in the background. What kind of burger were you eating here, Lenny?
Grilled.
Grilled burger. And what spooked you about the grilled burger? Not sponsored by Hawthorn or anything like that? Lenny is just gone running for his life.
Absolute stitch up.
Absolutely fantastic. And that's a disgrace, Lenny.
No, well, you don't want to be seen eating on national TV there, and it's good of my friend to stick that up on Facebook and the Facebook feed as well.
It was absolutely fantastic
Very
for us too.
Hey,
now I've had it. You just settle down too, because you are starting to really wobble around. You're wobbling so much your head is going to fall off. Your performance at the VAFA Women's Medal Night, which was a resounding success, I might add, was unprecedented.
Thank you.
The soliciting of answers of the VAFA Tragic favourites, if I can spit that out, it's unprecedented. It was really, really terrible to watch. But I think
bottom of the barrel stuff.
Really bottom of the barrel stuff. Were you hurt by it?
Oh, not hurt. No. That was an absolute, again, set up by Nick. The big bag of cash he carried into the event was
brown paper bag stuff.
Yeah,
it's absolutely coercion.
Yep.
Disgrace.
Coercion made a little bit better by the fact that only 20% of the ladies had actually seen the show.
Absolutely fantastic. They went back.
Let's move on. Enough of us. People
Yes.
don't watch this show to see us prattle on. They watch us to see us talk VAFA footy. Let's get into the plays of the week. Nick, kick us off with a new ball.
I'm going with David Landrigan from Old Zavarian, stalwart at Old Zavarians, and now the first Zavarian to reach 300 games in the Crocs win over South Mornington in Club 18 Section 1 on the weekend, the grand final win. Now, David has 6 senior flags to his name. He's a Big V rep. He took a 10-year retirement between 2004 and 2015, came back to win his second Crocs premiership. So congratulations to David, and that's just an outstanding effort.
It certainly is. Brenton, who have you got?
I've gone for Manningham Cobras. 8-game winning streak. Beat Aquinas, who were top of the ladder on the weekend. The Cobras are flying and a sleeper in the finals.
Crooksy's team, look out, they're on the way up. Harry Tinney, what a star of the competition he's been for particularly the last 3 or 4 year period in William Buck Premier. And in his 100th game for the Tees on the weekend in their magnificent win over Collegians, he kicked this outrageous goal from the boundary. So what better way to do it? Normally seeing him running, taking bounces through the middle of the ground and bombing them from 55, but this one bit of class from the boundary. On to William Buck Premier to get things underway. The finals is stitched up, so we know that De La Salle secured their finals berth against OM's. Nick, OM's not up to the task. They were still a chance to try and break into the top 4 if they were able to beat De La. They couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, they were a very big chance because they had probably an easier fixture this weekend compared to De La, who play the Blues. So if they did get the win on the weekend, but they failed to fire a shot. Kicking against the wind in the first term, De La were relentless as they hit the scoreboard 10 times, and they allowed just 2 at the other end. They built on their lead at every break throughout the days. OM's failed to fire, as I said, barring the first 10 minutes of the third when they've kicked about 4 or 5 goals in a row. Tom Humphrey, the Big V defender, was outstanding. He was a clear best on for mine. He was marking everything that came his way, and his run from the defence was elite, alongside Jason Tutt and the Williams boys. As you can see, Sam Williams kicking a ripping goal here, one of his best games for the year. And Ed Clinch, obviously, with 5 goals, was outstanding as well. Now, they've won 3 of the past 4. They've beaten Collegians earlier this year. They've taken it up to the Blues. They played the Blues again this weekend. Can they threaten either Scob, Collegians or Blues? Because I do have a little bit of information. All the finals for Premier will be at Trevor Barker Oval, and De La Salle, the run and gun nature of De La Salle.
Don't bury the lead. Trevor Barker Oval, so they're going to be hosting all the finals. That's great news announcement there.
Huge news. But De La Salle will love Trevor Barker Oval, the wide expanses, beautiful deck. And then can they make a preliminary final, mind you, if they come up against a Collegians or a Blues in the semi?
Well, of course they can. Yeah. I mean, we've seen that before. Didn't Zavs make a grand final from third or fourth? 2 years ago. And so it happens all the time. Yeah. Collegians did 2 years ago, and they snuck into a grand final from fourth spot. So it's possible. That was the year against Blacks when Blacks won the flag. So absolutely they can, particularly down at Trevor Barker Oval, when it's a ground that these sides don't play on every day of the week. It's a neutral venue. It's starting from ball one for both sides, but I don't think they will, though.
How much credence do you give to their matchup this weekend?
It's a really tough one. It seems to happen a lot, particularly in recent years, where you play the same team in the last round of the season that you're going to be playing in the first week of the finals. We saw about 4 seasons ago, Old Scotch did that against Collegians, and Old Scotch rested half their side. I know St Bernards have done it in the past, resting half their side. It didn't work. Didn't affect St Bernards. It did affect Old Scotch in the end, but I don't know how you play it really. That's up for the coaches.
It's funny with Blues and Dealer, their second half of the year has been really top notch. So you don't really want to flirt with that form. Like, I don't know about rest. I wouldn't rest players. I wouldn't go hell for leather. I would leave a couple of cards in your pocket.
The other side of it is Blues can still get a double chance. And they'd fancy themselves against St Kevin's if they managed to get through and get the double chance. So they should be going out all guns blazing to try and win. Go for the double chance and hope that. Who's Collegians plays? Zavs can do a number on Collegians, which is possible because those teams match up pretty well against each other. So if I'm Blues, I'm going out to win. Yep.
Especially because Blues beat Scott by 44 points just last week, don't they? So they've got that confidence from only 2 weeks ago.
Yep. At the other end of the table, it's all about what happens in these key matches. So Old Trinity still not out of the woods yet, even though they had a great win over Collegians. For Old Trinity to go down, they would need both Blacks to beat St Kevin's at TH King, which is a challenging task, and they would also need St Bede's Mentone Tigers to win against Beau Morris. Now the Tigers host the Sharks. These two sides from the Mentone area and Beau Morris area have been great rivals when they've played against each other. It is a big matchup.
It's a huge matchup. They tied earlier this year at Banksia Reserve, so they couldn't be split then. But I think Beau Morris is now in a lot better form than St Bede's. St Bede's have lost their last 4 in a row by 88 points.
Bowie win this, and Blacks beat Scobs. St Bede's will be the ones that go down, which is unbelievable. Been stuck on 18 points for a long time, the Tigers.
Yeah, they have. They really have. They've been struck by injury, the Richards boys. They've also had no ruckman, no Dean Porter on the weekend, who's been probably their best defender all year. And they've just got absolutely no confidence at the moment. They're just, except for Josh Cowan kicking a couple of stunning goals last week, that's the only confidence running through them at the moment.
We've mentioned Trinity and St Bede's. The things they've got going for them is they both, for either of them to go down, they're requiring Blacks to beat the powerhouse of the competition, St Kevin's at TH King. It's a tough task, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see that happening. So I think Trinity and also Beau Morris hold on, and I think St Bede's will go down.
But it comes back to what St Kevin's want to do.
So Blacks.
Blacks will go down, sorry.
It comes back to what St Kevin's want to do in round 18, knowing they've got top spot in the bag.
They're more likely to rest
How many of their players are they going to rest this weekend? And with Blacks coming into a little bit of form with a great win against Zavs on the weekend.
It's true. I think Scobs are more likely to rest players, but obviously I don't know if they will or not, but I think they're more likely.
Who goes down?
I think...
You said Blacks and Bowie.
Blacks.
I'm saying St Bede's and Bowie.
So Blacks to get the win.
I think I'm going for the fairy tale.
Yeah, I think Blacks will certainly put up a good show. I don't think they've got enough, even if St Kevin's do rest enough of their players. But when Joel Ernest is kicking 6 goals like he did on the weekend, then you never know. Into Premier B, also of interest there is the relegation battle. Fitzroy were displaced Parkdale on the bottom 2 as the Vultures had a win over the Roys. 1.67% separates the two sides at this stage. Fitzroy will play against Ajax. Ajax still trying to get a top 4 position. They need to win big over Fitzroy to get in there and hope Old Carey can do a number on Monash Blues. Monash Blues took a big step to getting that top 4 spot last week with a big win. So Monash Blues win, the 4's done. At the other end of the table, it is Fitzroy win. They can jump back above Parkdale. But Parkdale, they have Old Scotch, albeit at Jerry Green. So 100-point loss almost last time
Yeah.
they played the Cardinals.
And on the other hand, Fitzroy having beaten Ajax last time they played, so that's what's the interesting thing this week.
Yeah, I think Fitzroy get up, and unfortunately for Parkdale.
You think Fitzroy get over Ajax?
Yeah, I think-
Playing for a top 4 spot.
Yeah, I think Fitzroy beat the Jackers as well.
Yep.
So, well, interesting. That's at Gareth Morgan as well. So, tough one to see the Jackers losing, but Mark Williams might have to go around again next year to try and get finals for the Jackers. Premier C, fascinating situation in Premier C. Hampton Rovers and Kew were the 2 relegated sides in Premier C, so that's all done. But 4 spots still open with 5 sides chasing 4th spot.
It's unbelievable. This time of the year, last game of the season, chasing top 4 spot, much like in the AFL. It's going to be a whirlwind round of footy, and it's going to come down to the wire.
And every one of these teams that are chasing have been super inconsistent throughout the year, but they are still within that chance. So it's going to be hard for anyone to displace Williamstown, I think, because their percentage is so strong. And Ogs have a pretty hard matchup against Haileybury this weekend.
I think the Ogs are going to win this weekend against the Bloods of Haileybury. It's at Como. They'll be primed, ready to go. Williamstown host Old Ivanhoe, who had a good win last weekend. Old Ivanhoe's percentage probably against them in terms of being able to make it. They're going to have to rely on results to go their way, as probably will Old Mentonians as well.
Fantastic story for Ogs if they get in. Premiers last year and into the finals in Premier C this year. The grand finals from last year haven't really set the world on fire, but the Ogs are flying at the moment.
And the one thing that makes it a little bit more difficult for Williamstown is that they're not at the Fearon, and they haven't been for the last 2 games. They're at Cross Reserve, so they don't have that little advantage that they've always had.
The big windswept Fearon, exactly right. Old Campbell also against Marsden. I reckon Old Campbell a big show against Marsden, even though Marsden are in the 4. Old Campbell, they got a win to try and make the finals.
No chance. Marsden are flying, I reckon. I reckon Marsden is the second best team at the moment in Premier C, and I reckon they're going to make the grand final against Caulfield.
Plenty more still to come on the Tragics. We've got certainties. You might have heard a few about certainties already, but we'll talk about that when we get to the certainties. We're going to talk all the division finals and go through the complete dissection. It's all that and more to come on the Tragics.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics. As mentioned, still got so much more to get through. All of the division finals we've got to talk about. The Final Fours have been set. The venues have been set. They've all been published. Let's kick it off in Division 1. St Mary's Salesian versus Ormond on Saturday at Sports Cover Arena. Can't wait for this clash with the Monders having beaten St Mary's twice this year already.
Been defeated by
Other way around. Sorry, St Mary's.
That's all right, Andrew. Monders snuck into the second position, which we didn't think they were going to do, Nick. And you know what? I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to pick Ormond to beat St Mary's Salesian in the first final.
How much of an upset is it though? Like, they have lost twice this year, but only by 18 points and 10 points. So they've been in it, and Ormond have probably been the form side of the past month.
Okay. I think it's an upset because St Mary's finished on top.
Absolutely it is.
So you're going for
Ormond?
Yeah, I like Ormond's chance as well. That's why I got caught up at the start with what I was saying about them. But
St Mary's want to win this game because they've lost to Pegs twice this year, and Pegs should beat Oakley. We will get to that, I know, but St Mary's definitely want to win this game.
Fair enough. Pegs and Oakley is the other game. They're 1-1 throughout the season. Who do we like in this game? This will be played at Sports Cover on Sunday.
I just think Pegs is just that slight touch better than Oakley's, but Oakley with the firepower of Cloak and Bromley are threatening. But I think
8 on the weekend for Cloak.
Yeah, but I just think Pegs is they're a bit more balanced, and I think they're going to get over the top of Oakley.
Yeah, I'm with you on Pegs. I think Pegs should get through.
Yep.
Yeah, Pegs to get through. Preston Bullant's unfortunate to miss out on the finals there as well, with Oakley securing that 4th spot. Yeah, exactly right. So they get a month of September off for this.
You know why? Our boy's been overseas, Damon Marcon.
Oh, this is
exactly right.
Oh, we love it.
I've seen his tweets from around the world travelling.
Loving it.
Exactly right. G'day to you, Damon. Division 2, yes. Melbourne High against Old Paradians. These two sides have been up and down in between these sections in recent years, but Paradians and Melbourne High, who do we like?
Well, Paradians held on with a loss on the weekend to stay in 4th.
Pretty big loss.
Yes, and Melbourne High. Well, I did say, if you wind back the footage, and I said Melbourne High were going to make the 4.
You did.
And you scoffed at me. So I'm going to pick Melbourne High School boys to beat Old Parade, and and they'll get up.
Can always put up my hand when I've been wrong, and Melbourne High will get over Raiders, I think. And the fact that they beat Perran Assumption on the weekend, and for just their second loss of the year,
resting players for Assumption going into that round 18 clash. They do play, in course, in the second semi-final, which will be on Saturday at Trevor Barker Oval. That first semi-final, which we just spoke about, Trevor Barker Oval on Sunday. So if you're supporting either Melbourne High or Operations. Head to Trevor Barker Oval on the Sunday, and West Brunswick and Prahran Assumption. Let's talk about that on the Saturday. West Brunswick, they've been on the rise for the past few years. They book a place in the grand final. They go to Division 1, which would be an amazing rise for that club.
West Brunswick, it's a fantastic story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they are rivaling Richmond Central for their social media work too. They're absolutely unbelievable on social media.
Exceptional. I think the women have taken over there.
Yeah, they
actually.
really have. And this is going to be a blockbuster for Prahran Assumption and West Brunswick. But I still think Prahran Assumption have been far and away the best side in Division 2, and I think they'll get over West Brunswick in a tight one though.
Just on West Brunswick, John Canis was on record as saying last week that he thinks West Brunswick are the next Fitzroy, and he would expect in 3 or 4 years for them to be in the Premier sections.
I 100% agree. It's the changing demographics of Melbourne and where players are coming from now and where they're playing. And we saw obviously a mass exodus from those inner northern suburbs, through the 60s, 70s, 80s as people moved to the outer suburbs to find big houses. All of a sudden, young people are moving back into those areas. Of course, young people want to play sport.
Hipster influx, you reckon?
Absolutely.
Andrew?
It's playing a part.
Excellent culture down there.
Playing a part.
In saying that, Prahran Assumption.
Drinking coffee out of avocado skins, I've seen.
Yeah, I think Prahran Assumption will win as well in that second semi-final. Division 3, Powerhouse have surged to the top of the table to finish the season on top of UHS VU. This will be at Casey on Saturday afternoon. Who do we like in this game? After UHS won the game earlier in the year, Powerhouse came back and won the game second time around. Apparently, Powerhouse haven't been showing all their cards to UHS when they've been playing them.
Well, I don't know. That's tricky if they
Well,
are.
we discussed it on the panel. Do Powerhouse, it was about round 7, I think it was, do Powerhouse show all their cards? And yeah, apparently they haven't, but Sam Confey may come back from a knee injury, which would be a huge hit for Powerhouse.
You're not burying the headline again there, are you?
No. It was on Northwest.
Okay, that's good.
Night.
So is he a chance to come back or not?
He's a chance.
Okay.
He's a chance.
So it wasn't season-ending that knee.
He's seeing a specialist today.
Very, very good. He'll be an important player for them. I think Powerhouse will win that game.
Oh, I'm with you on that one, yeah. But
UHS have lost 3 of their past 4.
Yeah.
Well, they looked absolutely... They were flying. And they lost 3 of their past 4.
15 in a row. And
And it'll be able to wind-swept Casey as well. Doesn't matter if it's not blowing anywhere else in Melbourne, it'll blow out at Casey.
Westbourne Grammarians have had a great season as well. They play Swinburne in the other final at St Bernard's Oval 2 on Sunday. Who do we like in this one?
Well, Swinburne's defeated West Brunswick twice this year.
Westbourne,
sorry, not West Brunswick, Westbourne. Twice this year by 43 points to 26 points. I think they're going to continue that form and they're going to beat Westbourne Grammarians.
Westbourne are coming off an 18-point win over UHS VU. They're in form. Canterbury probably couldn't have done more to make the 4 with a 118-point win on the weekend. All they needed was UHS to win. Didn't happen because Westbourne are in form, and I think that they'll get it done over Swinburne.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Westbourne Grammarians will have the win there as well, and I reckon they might knock out UHS VU the following week.
Straight sets.
Yeah, absolutely. Heard it here first. Division 4, Aquinas versus North Brunswick. North Brunswick were flying, absolutely flying in this section. They've been caught by Aquinas eventually. It will be Aquinas 1 versus North Brunswick 2 at the Garvey Oval on Saturday in Melbourne's northern suburbs at Old Paradians ground. Who do we like out of here?
I think North Brunswick will bounce back over Aquinas. Aquinas copped a loss to Manningham Cobras on the weekend, but they could have been just, as we say, resting players, but I don't think they were. So I think Aquinas will get done by North Brunswick.
I think Aquinas opposite will get it done.
Okay.
Liam Whelan, has been a goal-kicking machine against Jake George, so that'll be interesting to see how those two go.
Did he ever beat his father's record?
No, but I did meet his father at the Big V Club Lunch. He's very proud of his son and the mentions that he gets on this show.
Good.
So Liam Whelan to kick a bag, Jake George to kick a bag, and I think Aquinas to get it done.
Yeah, Aquinas for me as well. Manningham against Mount Lilydale, Manningham Cobras. Their form is impeccable.
It is, and I think they just keep rolling on.
Yeah, incredible. 8 in a row. Manningham are probably the form side. They've beaten both the top 2 sides over the past 8 weeks. So they'll be excellent.
Couldn't be in better form.
Great work by the Rams to make it into the finals, by the way, as well. We'll be back with more right after this to come back with Dissection and all the rest of our certainties as well on the Tragics.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
You're watching the Tragics. I hope you're enjoying the show. As we approach finals, it's time now to head into Dissection. Nick, has Lockie Sullivan surpassed the Mastro as the Grilled Burgers rising star favourite?
I think he has. Now, we know I'm a big fan of the Mastro and everything he can do. Everybody is because he's a highlight reel. But Lockie Sullivan is a starting mid for St Kevin's. I know Anthony Lynch mentioned it a few weeks ago, but he's been in the best 11 times. He kicked 4 on the weekend. He's kicked 11 in his past 5 games as a midfielder. And the Mastro hasn't fired a shot. He has not hasn't kicked a goal for 4 weeks.
Could there be... He's been named.
He's been named in the team sheet.
Old Brighton. So.
And Old Brighton aren't struggling. So.
Andrew, who is the most dangerous outside the top 2, Pegs or Manningham Cobras?
Well, it's a ridiculous question, Brenton, because they don't play in the same section, so you can't actually ask that question.
Tell you what, I've been stitched up here.
Absolutely ridiculous question. If you were to pick a side that was in the first semi-final going into a semi-final that you wouldn't want to face, and in the preliminary final the following week, you're probably picking Manningham at the moment.
Yep.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's, who did I say will beat UHS? Westbourne Grammarians as well could be a sneaky chance as well.
Okay.
Brenton.
Yes.
Did St Mary's Salesians go out in straight sets?
Yes, I believe they could. Yes, I believe that St Mary's Salesians...
Well, that makes Pegs the most dangerous side.
Yes, well, I didn't answer the question. I just asked it, Andrew.
Stupid question.
And got barreled for it.
So, yes, I believe they can. I believe St Mary's Salesians hasn't had the best finals record over the journey, and they could get shaky in September, and they could go out in straight sets. I'm not saying that they definitely will, but they could, yes. Andrew.
Yes.
Should a team with a less than 50% win-loss record be able to make the finals?
No.
Ooh. And why is that?
Well, because they've won less games than they've lost for the year. Who are we talking about?
We're talking about Mount Lilydale.
Oh, well, they definitely should be playing finals. So,
Thank
it's a great effort from the Rams. I said that at Division 4. Great effort for them to be playing finals. Rightio, we're going to try something new here for the final few weeks of the season. We want to get a certainty of the week from everyone. We'll see who has the most points at the end of the year, and they can buy the coffees at the end of the show. Or the beers. Rightio, Nick, who's your certainty of the week?
Bo Morris, William Buck Premier. I think they are certainty to beat St Bede's Mentone Tigers. As we discussed earlier in the show, St Bede's are the most out-of-form side in William Buck Premier. Bo Morris have won 2 of their past 4.
Oh, we get the message. Bo Morris.
He's prone to a long winter.
Meant to be a one-worder. Rightio, who do you like?
Manningham Cobras.
Manningham Cobras is certainty of the week.
Yes, over Mount Lilydale.
So you've gone for the soft one. You can't choose the same team.
No, that's all right. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm going for Ogs to beat Old Haileybury in Premier C. Not sure it'll necessarily get them a final spot, but I think they'll get the win that they need at Como Park to give them a chance at least. That's all we've got time for on the show. Hope you've enjoyed the Tragics this week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy the footy on the weekend. See you next week.
With the relegation battle at fever pitch in William Buck Premier, I'm going to wind back the clock to the 70s and 80s with unconfirmed allegations that certain sides delivered barrels of beer to other sides who saved them from relegation to fund their Silly Sunday/Mad Monday. So I will raise this question. Will Trinity and St Bede's Mentone Tigers be funding Scob's final celebrations if they do them a solid and beat Blacks on the weekend? I'm going to leave you with that. That's my tragic take.